Hi, is everybody fine? Wow, today we have a new friend with us. His name is Joe. Today we will continue our discussion on Chapter 2, the development of multimedia project. Okay, before we proceed to a new topic, let's recap the previous topic we have discussed. Are you ready, Joe? In previous topic we have discussed on multimedia definition, which is the multimedia is a combination of text, image, sound, animation and video. That is a keyword you must remember. Then, we have learned of multimedia type, where there are two types of multimedia presentation. First, is linear multimedia presentation and second is a non-linear also known as interactive multimedia presentation. It is not enough if you just remember the types. You must be able to describe or elaborate and give an example for each type of multimedia presentation. Later, we have discussed on the delivery method of the multimedia project. We also have learned why we need multimedia. You also has been presented and explained on the multimedia applications. After that, we have seen on the list of the multimedia usage. Finally, we touched on the virtual reality subtopic. So, I hope you be able to remember all the facts that we have discussed earlier. And you must be able to explain or elaborate all facts in order to show your understanding regarding the topic. Now, let's look into overview of this new topic that we will discuss today. In this topic, you will learn on the stages of the multimedia project. Other people say is a method of multimedia project development. Next, the requirements of the multimedia project. And finally, the team members of the multimedia project development. The learning objective for today's discussion are, you must understand and you must be able to explain each stage in multimedia project. You also must be able to apply the method during your multimedia project development. Then, you must be able to recognize and specify the suitable and reliable multimedia tools in order to develop the multimedia project. Finally, you must be able to identify your team members in order to develop the multimedia project. In other words, you must know your team members well. Know their strength and weakness. Now, we start to discuss on today's topic. The method of the multimedia project development will begin from the lower step, which is planning and costing. Then, the second step is designing and producing. The third step is testing, and the final step is delivering. Now, I will explain further on the planning and costing stage. In this stage you as a developer must analyze the user demand, some of the book called user requirement. You must clearly understand the objective and message that the user want to deliver in the presentation. Then, you must consider the expert in your team. You must know very well your team's strength and weakness, either they are be able or not to develop the project. And, you must know your team members' limit in order to develop the project. Moreover, you must put into account your development tools include hardware and software. You must have a good knowledge about your strength and limitation of your tools. Is it the tools you have be able to support and produce the user demand? Is it the tools be able to cope with the current technology? Next, you must have an idea the flow and linkage of the presentation or project. In simple word, you must have an initial picture of the presentation or project such as you have a template. You be able to illustrate the connection of each input given by your user. Budget or cost include in the development process must be well planned at the early stage of the project. Time for the project estimation also is the important element that you must think in the early stage of the project development. Therefore, everybody in a team must work according to the time has been scheduled. The purpose is to monitoring the progress of each stage of the project development. Moreover, it is to avoid a delay to the project. Then, before close a deal with your user, you must at least come with a prototype or proof of concept of the project. Some of the book called a storyboard of the multimedia presentation project. This slide we will talk about prototype development. What process is included in prototype development? Why prototype is important? All the listed point in the slide I will explain in my word. I will not read it one by one. Because I already give you the slide before you enter my class. And my expectation, you already read the slide before you enter my class. Hope you will listen and focus to every word come from my mouth. The processes include in the prototype development are drafting an initial idea, create a mock-up to the project. Exercise or test the strength and limitation of the tools that will be used in the development, time and cost projection to develop the project and plan for a project testing include technical, logical and runtime testing, that why the prototype development is important. in order to get an agreement with the user. All processes involved in the prototype development will summarize the big picture of the project. Furthermore, by presenting the prototype to the user, it will give an advantage to both parties to have a clear picture to the expectation of the end of the product. In this stage, the user can be agreed or disagree to the product, and most of the time user will ask for an amendment, which may be remove a necessary thing to be appeared in the product or add other important thing into the product. After finalized everything, the user requirement and demand, and both parties are agreed, then only the project start. If not, the project can be at the same stage in several time, or it can be discontinued. Now, I will explain on designing and producing subtopic. At this stage, the development of the actual product is begun. The development process will follow the schedule that has been set at the planning stage. All team members will follow the timeline for each task, while the project leader will conduct several meetings with the user in order to acknowledge the user on the progress of the project. However, sometimes the user will request a minor amendment to the product. So, the developer team must make changes to the product according to the user demand. This situation will occur for several times along the designing and producing stage. However, the project leader must play a role in order to avoid of the project development is just because entertaining the ad hoc request from the user. This situation is depending on the project leader's skills to deal with the user. This situation will burden the development team if the situation is frequently occur. And of course it will delay the project. Furthermore, in this stage we have two types of development, which is the first type known as alpha development and the second type is known as beta development. Alpha development, where all the development will get involved to develop the product. All teams will be more concentrate to the project, more effort will be put into the project. While the beta development is where most of the features included in the product are functioning. Moreover, initial testing to the product will be conducted at this stage. Normally, the testing in this stage only involve the developer teams. The testing normally focus on the technical aspect and the reliability of product. In addition, the testing is conducted by feature of the product, not as a whole product, while finished producing the product. The next stage is the testing stage. In general, the main purpose of the testing is to ensure the product achieve the user requirement and objective. Next, the testing also is to verify the product is be able to be executed on the specific platform as demanded by the user. Furthermore, the testing is to make sure the product is bug-free, which means no technical error during execution. Again, the purpose is to check whether the product has met the user requirement or not. In the same time as to secure the reputation of the developer teams, it will not be damaged by the technical issues or platform issues while execution of the product. We have three types of testing, which are alpha testing, beta testing and final release. Alpha testing is normally alpha release is a first working draft of the project. Alpha release is only for the internal circulation and usually done in-house by the developer teams. In alpha testing normally the developer will expect an error from the execution product. It is because alpha testing is tested on the incomplete product. So, normally the developer will expect the technical error from the product. Beta testing is a wide range of the testing and normally this type of testing will involve several representatives from the user who are request the product. The tester should be the outsider. Means, person that not involved in the development process. Furthermore, at the beta testing level, the errors or issues occur normally is not very critical. However, response from the testers is critical to be considered and looked into by the developer teams. And final testing stage is a final release. In this stage, the term bronze or release candidate is used to identify the product that almost complete, while the term gold master is used to the final version complete multimedia product. Now, we arrive at the final stage of the multimedia product development. Delivery of the multimedia product is the final stage in the method of the multimedia product development. I hope everybody still remember the technique we can use to deliver the multimedia product. We already discussed it in the previous topic. Now in this subtopic we will discuss further on the delivery stage. In this stage, the gold master is going to be packed and delivered to the user. The term used at this stage is going gold. The concern thing in this stage is about the scalability of the product in the marketplace. Means, the commercial value of the product. Is the product strong enough to enter the market? However, I will not discuss further about the commercial value and marketing strategy of the multimedia product. It is because the market trend to the multimedia product is rapidly change. So, you need to study the trend and always keep up to date with the current trend in order to make sure your multimedia product can enter and stay in the market. Actually, we need a separated topic to this. So, we will not continue the discussion on this commercial and marketing strategy of multimedia product. So, stop for a break 5 minutes. Please come back after 5 minutes. Now we continue to the next subtopic. The requirements of the multimedia project development. In order to develop a multimedia product, the first requirement is computer or hardware. Next, the software. Finally, of course, the creativity or skills. When we talk on multimedia, it is normal if you think on Mac computer. However, you still can use the Windows computer, but the hardware of the Windows computer must be the high-performance hardware in order to avoid the hang situation, especially during rendering process. As you can read in the slide, the Mac computer hardware is more better than Windows computer. From my personal opinion, it is regardless you use the Mac or Windows computer as long as you as a developer familiar with the graphical user interface of the operating system. It will be useless if you require Mac computer but then you are not familiar how to use it. Therefore, it is not compulsory for you to have Mac computer to develop a multimedia project. You still be able to develop a multimedia product with the Windows computer. But please make sure the hardware of your computer is high-performance hardware. Why we need high spec of the hardware? It is because most of the multimedia development software come with bigger size of files and very high-tech quality of image, sound and video. If your computer hardwares are not able to support the software, you can't make it. It is same if you try to develop a multimedia project using smart device. You need a flagship smart device to ensure the device can support the multimedia apps development. In order to develop a multimedia product, there are a lot of multimedia software development tools or apps in the market. Example of the tools are Adobe Premiere, Adobe Animate, Adobe Illustrator, Adobe Photoshop, Adobe Audition, Maya, 3D Max, Blender and much more. Most of the tools come with a license that you need to pay some amount of money to get them in your computer. There are offline tools or online tools on the market. Previous example is the offline tools which you need to install in your computer. While the online tools is not necessary to install the tools, but it is require a web browser and internet connection. And most of the online tools you still need to pay before you can use it. Example of the online tools for the multimedia project development are Doodly.com, Animaker.com, Doodlemaker.com and much more. Some of the tools either offline or online is just to create the multimedia, not include the production feature. And some of the tools is just for production a multimedia project only. However, there are several tools that provide both feature in one tools or software. In addition, you must ensure that the software or tool that you want to use can be supported by your computer. You must read the software hardware requirement before you purchase it. The final requirement to develop a multimedia project is creativity, organizational and communication skills. All mentioned skills are subjective to be evaluated, but all skills are essential. What has been stated in the slide you can read it by yourself. The thing I want to discuss regarding to this subtopic is about how you want to gain all those skills. Every person had a different level of creativity. You can get the idea before develop the multimedia product by watching other multimedia product. Do extra work to polish the idea. Next is about organizational. This skill can be learned by attending the short courses. Learn to organize all your work, team, tools and etc. After attend the courses you need to apply the knowledge in order to polish your skill. This is same to the communication skill. You can learn it from any courses that related communication skill. Then, apply the knowledge to polish the skill. The thing you must remember, different level of project dealing will acquire a different set of skills. It is totally depending on your skills, how and when you want to apply and what type or situation of project you are dealing. You must use a suitable set of dealing skills to win the project. Next, we will talk about team members of multimedia project development. To develop one multimedia project is require a team of multimedia members. Each member have a specialty or a set of skills in developing a multimedia product. Each task in developing a multimedia product will be delegate to specific person in a team which expert and skillful to carry the task. In general, the team members consists of project manager, multimedia designer, writer, video specialist, audio specialist, multimedia or computer programmer and web producer. Project manager is responsible to the project development as whole. As listed in the slide, the role of the project manager. The great project manager will influence the successful of the project. Normally the project manager have a great leadership, management and communication skills. The project manager will control the schedule and activities of the project. Project manager have a very good knowledge about the strength and limitation of his staffs and equipments. In short, project manager have a great personality when it comes to dealing with a client. Next is designer. Multimedia designer normally work in team. The designer team consists of graphic designer, instructional designer, interface designer and information designer. For graphic designer consists of graphic designer, illustrator, animator and image processing specialist. I hope the role each of them you can read in the slide. That just a fact information for you to remember. Then, we have writer in the multimedia team. It is to write the script of the multimedia project. Writer also will create the characters for the project. Moreover, the writer will responsible to the interactive of the storyline. Next, we have video specialist to be in a team. The specialist is to shoot the video, perform the video editing and produce a quality output according to the demand. In short, the specialist must expert all the video shoot equipment and all the video editing software. Next person must be in the team is audio specialist. The role is to perform all tasks regarding audio such as select a suitable music talent for a specific project, conduct a recording session and do the audio editing to the multimedia product. Another person must be in the team is programmer. The role is to integrate all the multimedia elements into a seamless project, using authoring systems or programming language. Next is to write the codes for the display of multimedia elements, and to control various peripheral devices. Finally is to manage his timings, transitions, and record keeping. Last person in the team is web producer. The role of the producer is to put the information of the project together a coordinated set of pages for the web and is to coordinate updates and changes on the web. Now, we already at the end of the discussion. As a summary, you already learned the method involved in multimedia project development. There are 4 stages stated in the method which are consists of planning and costing, design and production, testing and delivery. You must be able to apply the knowledge in your multimedia project development which will be presented at the final week of this semester. You also must be able to elaborate for each stage in the paper during the test later. Next, you have learned the requirement of the multimedia project which are hardware and software, as well as creativity and organizational skills are essential for creating a high-quality multimedia project. Moreover, you already learned the set of skills that you must acquire to develop a multimedia product. Finally, you already know the specific role that you must include in your multimedia team as a developer. Furthermore, you already know the specific task that you must delegate to your team members according to their expert. Okay, that's all for today's discussion on the Chapter 2. Hope you understand what I try to deliver. If you have any question, please throw your question in the messaging group. Alright, we stop the lecture here. Thank you for your time, thank you for your concentration. See you in the next class.